It was spring of 1993, and I was a sophomore in high school living in rural Wisconsin. I remember coming out of my room one night to tell my mom and stepdad, "Hey guys, I'm moving to Fort Collins, Colorado." And within 4 months, that's exactly what I did. And it changed my life. So here's the high school I attended when I first moved to Fort Collins, and I'll share more about that in just a minute. But first, I want to share 4 ways that moving to Fort Collins changed my life. And then I want to share some advice on how you can have a life-changing experience in Fort Collins. The first way that moving to Fort Collins changed my life was it put me in an environment that I was deeply attracted to. Beautiful surroundings. I mean, look at this for one thing. A really welcoming community, outdoor activities, biking, skiing, hiking trails, jogging trails. It's just another day in paradise. Within 5 minutes of certain parts of Fort Collins, you can get to the mountains. Accessible bike trails all around town. And you can ride your bike along the Poudre River. You can go to a brewery, you can go to Old Town. You can go up to the mountains, snowshoeing in the winter, skiing, hiking, snow hiking. You have a community of people in general that really care about health and outdoor lifestyle. Plenty of parks, playgrounds, open areas. There's always things going on in Old Town, festivals, music. One of the unique things about Fort Collins is the college campus. With Colorado State University here present in Fort Collins, you have a youthful environment. Life in Old Town, restaurants with the bar scene, the breweries. The second way that moving to Fort Collins, Colorado changed my life are the ways that it impacted me both personally and professionally. One of the reasons I was excited to move to Fort Collins was the educational opportunities that I had. I went to the old Fort Collins High, got to be the last graduating class there. It was filled with tradition. I also was excited to be able to have state residency so I could go to Colorado State University. First of all, it's a beautiful campus. The education itself, phenomenal. As far as public education, we're unique in that we have both your typical public schools, but we also have charter schools. Really the equivalent of a private school for free. Schools like Liberty and Ascent, Ridgeview. Another unique thing about having grown up part of my high school years here in Fort Collins is I got to see my dad at work. He was a realtor for a season at the group real estate here in town. He did commercial real estate as well as developing. So I could see from his hand at work a lot of these neighborhoods transform over time. It's often named best places to live in Colorado or America. It's a vibrant real estate market, and I just feel really privileged to be a part of that. The third way Fort Collins has impacted my life is I've had a lot of unique experiences here. In fact, I've moved away several times and come back to this town 5 times. I've lived a lot of life here. I met my husband here, and then I had my first child. I raised a family, we bought our first home, we got involved in this community. In fact, we even started a church here. I found my people here. It's a welcoming community. 3 pillars for me here in Fort Collins are food, fitness, and faith. So let's start with food. There are so many different options, really fun to explore. And not only that, but a great beer culture. So with all the breweries and craft beers, you're gonna find a plethora of options. Fitness, because it's such an active community, for those that are interested in that, there are clubs, the CrossFitters. I go to a gym called F45, lots of other gyms. There are lots of places to work out. I have deep ties to the faith community here as well because the first impact I had was from a youth group back in high school. All sorts of different churches that we've had a connection to. So the fourth way that moving to Fort Collins has changed my life is the influence it's had on my lifestyle and well-being. I've had Lyme disease since I was in high school. So being a very health-conscious community has actually impacted something deeply rooted in my life. Being in a community with people that are health-conscious, there was a lot of conversations on the side about things that could help me with diet and exercise, finding things that have actually greatly impacted my health. And I attribute that to being part of a community that has really cared about health, nutrition, and an active lifestyle. Now, in case you think you have to be into health and fitness in order to live here, it's okay. If that's not your thing, you're gonna fit right in as well. Now, let me take you back to that story I started with at the beginning. It's not quite as crazy as it seemed. I was a sophomore in high school. I did suddenly tell my mom and stepdad that I was gonna be moving to Fort Collins. But the part that I didn't share was that my dad and stepmom lived here, so I was moving in with them. I needed a place that was going to help me develop the things I was working on in my life. It was the perfect place for me, and perhaps it's the perfect place for you. Now, if you are thinking about Fort Collins for yourself, I have some advice that may help you have a life-changing experience in moving here. 1, explore your interests. There are so many different clubs and organizations and activities you can get involved in. The meetups, small business community, networking events, chamber of commerce. Find that thing that you're really interested in and jump into it. You'll meet so many different people and find yourself getting plugged into this community quite quickly. 2, embrace your neighborhood connections. Find a place that you want to live and then connect with those neighbors. Get involved in volunteering or being a part of the activities that they have. Often they'll do neighborhood garage sales or some of them have food trucks that come where you can meet people, and be open to new experiences. Keep growing. Now I have one more thing for you. I want you to check out my next video. It's what every buyer should know about buying real estate here in Fort Collins. I think it'll be super helpful if you're considering a move here. And why is it so hard?